every morning with drive. Being on the grind, know I had to survive. We had to win. Started from the dirt and the rubble. I had to be the needle that was popping your bubble.
Hello and welcome in to another Rookie Prospect Profile presented by Zilla Fantasy Elite. Today we're going to be looking at running back Chris Rodriguez. Chris Rodriguez was drafted number 193 overall by the Washington Commanders because of course they would. They're old and crusty and he's a big running back. He does come into the league out of Kentucky. Looking at some of the physical traits for Chris Rodriguez, we see that size come in 6 foot, 217 pounds, giving us a 29.4 BMI. That 40 score for Chris Rodriguez, 4.57, giving us a speed score of 99.5. Fairly uninspiring. Putting these physical traits along with some of their college number into that RStudio regression model, we get a prospect score of 13.473, which ranks number 131 overall out of the 310 running backs in the RStudio models database. This is the 57th percentile. Shifting over to see who the closest comparables are to Chris Rodriguez and his prospect score, we see that the next closest better than him are Kenyon Drake, Christine Michael, Damian Williams, Rashad Jennings, and Bilal Powell. The next 5 below, James Cook, Jalen Samuels, Alexander Madison, Joshua Kelly, and Jackie Battle. Now, if you remember seeing the Evan Hull, or if you've watched the Evan Hull, this is the exact same 5 best and 5 worst. Some very interesting hits in there with Kenyon Drake, Damian Williams, Rashad Jennings, Bilal Powell. All have had their own, levels of success. James Cook remains to be seen. Jalen Samuels, that tight end running back kind of combo there. Alexander Madison, very productive in his time that he's been the lead back there. So you get some interesting comparisons there for Chris Rodriguez. Let's switch now to that machine learning model for Chris Rodriguez. We can see that he comes in with a mean of 10.12 and a median of 10.18. Looking at the minimum predicted value at 6.13, the maximum 14.30. The 10th percentile outcome, 7.58. The 25th percentile outcome, 8.73. The 75th percentile outcome, 11.54. And the 90th percentile outcome at 12.53, with that mid-50 gap of 2.81. So what do these numbers mean for Mr. Chris Rodriguez? Let's look. 10.12. What can we expect in that range in terms of a season best fantasy point per game? The neural network saying that's about where we can expect their average outcome to be. Well, a 10.1 would be right where Donald Brown is. Tyler Algier, 9.96. That gives you a little idea. Jalen Samuels, which was one of his best comparables, 9.90. One of the best comparables on the R prospect model there for him. Jalen Richard, a little bit below there, a little bit better. Mike Gillislee, Javorius Allen, James Starks, Brandon Oliver, Ben Tate. Those guys were all at 10.3 or 10.4. So that's about the range that you can expect an average career best season for Chris Rodriguez. In terms of PPR fantasy points per game, looking at his maximum of 14.3. Who has had that for their best in their career? That's going to be Miles Sanders, 14.2. Zach Stacy, 14.1. Damian Harris, 14.01. Kerryon Johnson, 13.9. Same with Michael Bush. A little bit above that mark, we got Miles Sanders, that 14.2 range. Then Tim Hightower, Jay Ajayi at 14.4, Antonio Gibson on his own teammate, 14.44, Marlon Mack, 14.5, same with Lamar Miller. So that's maximum output for Chris Rodriguez should he get 80 opportunities in a season. That remains to be seen how he's going to be utilized in this backfield with last year's pick of Brian Robinson, who's very similar, bigger back, not crazy athletic, just one of those players, and it makes sense, right? You got the old crusty coach there, wants these big power backs, and really doesn't look at Antonio Gibson and his prospect profile as somebody that they can utilize to win games, and that's just how it is. So how does Chris Rodriguez stack up compared to his 2023 counterparts, we look at his mean rank. It's 25th out of 36. Median, 24th. Minimum rank is 19th best. Maximum rank was actually 29th best. Then into those percentile outcomes, 23rd, 24th, 22nd, and 24th. And then his M50 gap rank was 25th. Pretty meh across the board, as you would expect for Chris Rodriguez. Doesn't really profile as somebody who's going to do a lot in the league. You know, the 10 fantasy points per game should he get 80 opportunities in a season sounds about right for Chris Rodriguez. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's rookie prospect profile on Chris Rodriguez. This is presented by Zilla Fantasy Elite. Thanks for tuning in, and hopefully these models give you a little bit of additional information to help make you some better decisions in your rookie drafts or in your fantasy drafts this year. If you do appreciate this stuff, I would appreciate a follow, and thanks for your time and watching this video. Have a good one, folks. Bye.
Yeah, whole crew on top, really we on top. Wake up every morning with drive, been on the grind, know I